Hello, welcome to our online coaching program. Today we are going to correct probatoire 2024 vocabulary section on 10. So be concentrate, sit down, take your pens where you are, in your car, in your bedroom, in your dining room. Sit with your younger brothers and sisters, concentrate and stop making noise because very soon we are going to start. I would like to start by asking a question. What did you learn during the last session? What did you learn? What did you acquire? What did you acquire when you were treating, when you were correcting the probatoire exam 2024? Can you leave it in a comment? Pouvez-vous mettre par écrit ce que vous avez retenu la dernière fois lorsque nous corrigions la partie grammaire probatoire 2024? Thank you for writing. When you are writing and can still correct, I can still see whether you really understood what was said that particular day. So let us revise conditional sentences. Conditional sentences, because the first grammar exercise had to do with conditional sentence. Conditional type 1. I will give you the rule that govern conditional type 1. If plus present plus future in bracket will plus infinitive. This is conditional type 1. If plus present plus future in bracket will plus infinitive form of the verb. Examples: if I study hard, I will pass the exam. If I study hard, I will pass the exam. You realize that study is in the present tense, will pass is the future. So you have will plus the infinitive form of the verb to pass, the bare infinitive without so. So you have will and pass. Another example: if it rains tomorrow, if it rains tomorrow, we will stay inside. If it rains tomorrow, we will stay inside. Rains is the third person singular. You have S present, and will stay is the future tense of the verb to stay. So you have will plus the infinitive form of the verb to stay. Let's move to conditional type 2. The formula: if plus past tense plus would plus infinitive. If plus past tense plus would plus infinitive. Examples: if he spoke English, he would get that job. If he spoke English, he would get that job. If he spoke English, he would get that job. Spoke is the past tense of the verb to speak. So we have if plus past tense of the verb to speak, which is spoke, and you have would plus the infinitive form of the verb to get, which is get. So would get, spoke, and would get. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. So you have here where the past tense of the verb to be, the auxiliary to be. You never say if I was, no. You say I was in class yesterday. But when you associate if to the auxiliary to be in the first person singular, you say if I were. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. So I was in class yesterday. I was in the market yesterday. But if I were a bird, if I were you, I would not insult my teachers. If I were you, I would not insult my parents. Okay, so build your own sentences in conditional type 1, in conditional type 2, and write them in the comment. Leave a comment with sentences in conditional type 1, conditional type 2. Go ahead. Go ahead. Write your sentences. I will correct them. Conditional type 1. Okay. Conditional type 2. Write them. Conditional type 3. If plus past perfect ou plus would have plus past participle de PP. If plus past perfect plus would have plus past participle. Do we remember the tense the exercise we did last time? If it rains well this year, there will be a good harvest. We realize that the sentence was in conditional type 1 because you have if plus present rains and will be, future, will plus be, the infinitive form of the verb to be. And you were to transform it into conditional type 3. Comment savoir? La phrase était au conditionnel du type 1, conditional type 1. La phrase était donc au conditional type 1. Il fallait transformer la phrase. Pour un élève curieux, il va se rendre compte que, en fait, il avait déjà le verbe au past perfect tense. Donc, il ne pouvait compléter la phrase qu'avec would, have plus past participle. Et c'est pourquoi la dernière fois, nous avons dit que la transformation était if it had rained that year. If it had rained that year, there would have been a good harvest. Généralement, à l'examen, on vous donne un verbe, le verbe d'une des propositions. Et c'est à vous donc de voir exactement à quel temps correspond ou à quel conditional type appartient la phrase. Et vous faites la transformation en tenant compte de ces éléments. Alors, il est parfois plus facile de mettre sur votre papier brouillon les types de conditional. I would strongly advise you to write down the rules or the formulas to faciliter the task. Si c'est compliqué, mettez la formule par écrit et à partir de la formule, vous saurez effectivement quel est le temps correspondant. Et pour notre cas, le verbe était déjà au past perfect, donc on ne pouvait compléter la phrase qu'en mettant would, have, plus, past participle. Ça aurait été autre chose. Vous devez tout simplement tenir compte de la règle qui gouverne les conditional sentences. So examples with conditional type 3. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. If I had studied, the past perfect of to study, I would have passed the exam. Would have plus the past participle of the verb to pass, which is past. If we had left earlier, we wouldn't have missed the bus. If we have left earlier, we wouldn't have missed the bus. Have left is the past perfect tense of the verb to leave, and wouldn't have plus PP of the verb to miss, which is missed. So there are other types of conditionals like conditional type 0, like mixed conditional. Et je pense que la prochaine fois, nous allons effectivement aborder tout un cours de grammaire sur les conditional sentences. Ok, allons maintenant au vocabulaire. Let us move to section B, vocabulary. 10 marks. Don't forget to read your exam paper. N'oubliez jamais de lire toute votre épreuve de la grammaire au composition writing. Pourquoi est-ce que je vous encourage vivement à lire toute l'épreuve avant de commencer à traiter les différents exercices en allant du moins complexe au plus complexe, from the less complex to the more complex exercise. Pourquoi j'encourage ça? Il y a des fois où en fait on vous donne un exercice de grammaire ou de vocabulaire et la réponse à cet exercice de synonyme ou d'antonyme peut se retrouver et se retrouve même régulièrement dans le texte de compréhension ou encore dans le composition writing. Donc il est toujours prudent de lire toute l'épreuve et en lisant l'épreuve, certains éléments de réponse à une session peuvent se retrouver dans l'autre. Section B, vocabulary. Vocabulary, 10 marks. Exercise 1. Complete each sentence with the most appropriate form of the word in the brackets. 5 marks. 1. African countries should endeavor to organize. African countries should endeavor to organize transparency elections to avoid ending with unpopular presidents. Okay, transparency here is a noun. And what you need here is an adjective, not a noun. So we are going to talk about what can you suggest? What is the answer? What is the correct answer at this level? The correct answer is transparent. So organized, transparent elections. Transparent synonym clear, honest. Transparent elections. Transparent is the adjective and elections is the noun. So you cannot put a noun here. You cannot say transparency elections, no, but you say transparent elections. For example, you realize that in English most of the time adjectives come before the noun. You have transparent elections, transparent adjective, elections noun. Now you have beautiful girls, beautiful adjective, girls noun. Handsome boys, handsome adjective, and boys is the noun. There is something that captured my attention when I was reading. Is avoid. Let us move ahead. Avoid ending. Comme je vous ai expliqué la dernière fois, il y a des verbes qui vont ensemble avec comment je vais dire ça, avec des structures bien précises. Par exemple, you have here avoid plus ing. Avoid plus ing. For example, you can say avoid drinking dirty water, avoid insulting your parents, avoid insulting your parents, avoid insulting your teachers, avoid sleeping in class. Avoid sleeping in class. You can also talk about keep plus ing. Keep plus ing. You have keep walking, keep learning. You can also have stop plus ing. Stop talking in class. Stop talking in class. Stop eating in class. Stop sleeping in class. Okay, you can make your 2 sentences with the adjective transparent. Your own sentences. Correct. Let us move to sentence 2. The level of addictive to electronic gadgets changes as we move from one generation to the other. So the answer here is, can you suggest an answer? Can you guess the answer? The answer here is the level of addiction. Addiction is a bad habit. You are addicted to your phone, addicted to social media. It's a problem because you cannot concentrate on your studies. You cannot learn because you depend on them. So can you make 2 sentences with addiction? 2 sentences with addiction. Go ahead. And can I help you? I can help you. The level of addiction to social media is increasing among young people today. The level of addiction to social media is increasing among young people. Another sentence, the level of addiction to telephones is very high. Let us move to sentence 3. People should read the packaging on on processed foods. Dash dash dash. Careful before using them. So what is the answer? Can you guess the correct answer here? Can you get the correct answer here? You have careful and you have to transform. Always read the instructions very well before starting your exercise. So in bracket you have careful. But what we need here is not an adjective, because careful is an adjective. And its antonym is careless. And less is a suffix. Less means the absence of. So careless is the absence of care. Childless is the absence of child. He is a childless man. Fatherless is the absence of father. Motherless is the absence of mother. So the suffix less means absence of. Careless, absence of care. Childless, absence of child. Fatherless, absence of father. Motherless, absence of mother. So what we needed here was not an adjective but an adverb. Add to the verb. So people should read the packaging on processed food carefully. You read carefully. Okay, can you make sentences with careful, careless, and carefully? Go ahead, write your sentences down in the comment, in the chat. Examples: be careful when crossing the road. Be careful when crossing the road. Another sentence: he is a careless student. He is a careless student. He does not take good care of his books. He does not take good care of his books. She drives carefully. She drives carefully. So careful, an adjective. Careless, an adjective. But carefully is an adverb directly linked to the verb drives. He drives carefully. He drives carefully. So carefully here is the adverb which tells us how she drives. Number 4. One of the causes of juvenile delinquency. It's a difficult word to pronounce. Can you pronounce after me? Juvenile delinquency. Can you repeat after me? Juvenile delinquency. One of the causes of juvenile delinquency is employment, in bracket, creating a job enabling environment. Creating a job enabling environment will greatly reduce the social problem. Creating a job enabling environment will greatly reduce the social problem. So what is the correct answer here? Employment is a noun, and unemployment. In unemployment you have the prefix on. So unemployment means joblessness. So the absence of employment. So you can also have employer, words from the same family. You can have employer. Your employer might be your boss. The employer, and the antonym employee, who might be the worker. Employee, employer, and employee. Can you repeat after me? Employer, employee. Can you make sentences using the words above? The government, example, the government started the program to help people find jobs. The government started the program to help people find jobs. Another sentence: there are many people without jobs. There are many people without jobs in Cameroon. So the correct answer here is unemployment. Last sentence number 5. There are new ICT ... that can enable a referee to take important decisions during a football match. So you have to produce the correct answer, but you have to make the difference between there is and there are. There is and there are. Use there is for singular, and the are for plural. For example, there is a boy in class, so you say there are boys in class. There is a girl in class. There are girls in class. Okay, so for irregular plural, you may have there is a child at home, but there are children at home. There is a knife on the table. There are knives on the table. There is a loaf of bread on the cupboard, but there are loaves of bread on the cupboard. So the answer here is devices. So you put S because you have the expression they are. They are. They are will admit a noun in the plural form. On vous utilisez there is pour le singulier et they are pour le pluriel. Et comme ici nous avons there are, nous allons mettre device into plural. So at the end of the day, you are going to have devices. Okay. Qui a eu 5 sur 5, qui a eu 5 sur 5, qui a eu 5 sur 5, mettez vos notes, même si on n'avait pas été capable d'avoir 5 sur 5, c'est pas grave, je crois que vous allez vous améliorer la prochaine fois. Qui sont ceux qui ont eu 4 sur 5, 3 sur 5, 2 sur 5, 1 sur 5, 0 sur 5? Félicitations. Exercise number 2, complete the clause test below with the most appropriate word chosen from those in the box. There are more than words. There are more words than you will need. There are more words than you will need. 5 marks. So you have to choose between life, earth, inadequate, decompose, consume, living, toxic, reusing. Plastic waste in our streets and rivers blocks drains and causes flood. How do you pronounce this word? Causing flooding. How do you pronounce the word? Can you imagine? How do you pronounce the word? Is it flood? No. It's not flood. It's a flood. Flood is a large amount of water covering an area that is usually dry. Yeah, and flood can be a noun and a verb. Flood can be a noun and a verb. For example, the heavy rain caused a flood in the street. Here, flood is a noun. And when you say the river flooded, it bounds during the rainy season. Flooded is a regular verb. Flooded. Okay. Yeah. Plastic waste in our streets and rivers blocks drains and causes flooding. This is because they don't they don't decompose. So you need a verb here and not a noun. Decompose is a verb. They don't decompose in nature. Not only does it dirty the environment, but it is also okay, so you need something like a noun or an adjective here. So it is also what might be the answer? Can you guess? Can you imagine? It is also a health problem, a health hazard or problem. It is a health problem. About 88% of diarrheal diseases. Diarrheal. Can you pronounce after me? Can you repeat? Diarrheal diseases, cholera and malaria are caused by, we need an adjective here. They are caused by inadequate hygiene and sanitation. This type of pollution can be prevented by plus ing. Do we remember? By plus ing, by reusing. You have the prefix re and the verb use. Reusing. By reusing this material to produce various craft that could be sold to earn a living. To earn a living, c'est une expression très intéressante qui signifie gagner sa vie. So to earn a living is to work to have money to pay for food, clothing, housing, and needs. And can you try to make some sentences with earn a living? How does he earn his living? Comment gagne-t-il sa vie? He earned his living as a carpenter. Il gagne sa vie comme charpentier. Okay, how many people scored? 5 on 5, 4 on 5, 3 on 5, 2 on 5, 1 on 5, 0 on 5. Oh, I do encourage you to practice because practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. C'est en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron. Ne vous découragez pas, même si vous avez eu 0 sur 5 ou 0 sur 10. C'est la fin de la correction de vocabulary qui était sur 10 points, vocabulary probatoire 2024. Alors n'oubliez pas la méthode stratégique à 5 étapes pour maîtriser votre langue anglaise. Étape numéro 1, c'est la date écrite dans son intégralité. Étape numéro 2, c'est un mot nouveau plus synonyme, plus antonyme et la traduction en langue française et l'utilisation des mots dans des contextes appropriés. La phase numéro 3, c'est un verbe irrégulier, past tense, past participle, plus la traduction du verbe en langue française. Étape numéro 4, il est question donc de trouver une citation bilingue en anglais et en français. Et étape numéro 5, il s'agit d'utiliser les verbes ou les mots utilisés ci-dessus pour pouvoir former 5 phrases au présent, au passé, au futur, au present perfect et au past perfect. Be blessed, stay tuned, goodbye.